Game 7. 2 words that freeze time for every sports fan. No cushion, no excuses, no second chances. Tonight, we face 2 battles, both at the edge of elimination. In the NBA, it's the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. One team walks off the floor to fight again. The other disappears into silence. In the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche meet the Dallas Stars. Speed, steel, suffering, only one leaves the ice with breath left in their chest. This is not a night for stats. Not a night for history. This is the night the truth shows up. We are not gamblers. We are not fans. We are iSports predictor, and we were built for the fire. Abaddon, take the court.
They've been walking straight into it all day. The loud ones. The confident ones. The ones who think Vegas plays fair when the lights are brightest. They've been piling onto the over like it's free money. 99% of them. All marching in the same direction. Eyes closed, wallets open. But Game 7 isn't like the others. This isn't a Thursday night in Charlotte. This is the last breath of a war between the Clippers and the Nuggets. One goes home. One survives. And when survival is the only objective, offense dies first. Let's get clear. The books opened this total around 209.5, but while every corner of the internet flooded to the over, the line dropped, quietly, methodically, all the way down to 206. That's not fear. That's a trap being set. And they took the bait. Let's talk facts. In Game 6, these teams combined for 216 points. But that was in Los Angeles with pace, rhythm, and legs. This time we're back in Ball Arena. Altitude, nerves, pressure, no rhythm, no flow. Jokic will be forced into half-court post-ups. Harden will dribble down the shot clock looking for a mismatch. The game slows. Possessions shrink. Every bucket gets heavier. Every turnover feels fatal. Game 7s aren't just physical. They're psychological. Players don't run. They walk. They don't shoot freely. They hesitate. Because the margin for error is 0. Because every pass could be the last. Because legacies ride on every possession. Vegas knows this. That's why they didn't raise the total when 99% of bets came in on the over. They lowered it. And the public kept hammering it anyway. They made it look too easy. And the herd never sees it coming until it's already over. Let's go deeper. The Clippers are the 4th best defense in the NBA. They force turnovers, protect the perimeter, and grind you into bad shots. They held Denver to just 83 points in Game 4. That wasn't a fluke. That was their blueprint. And Denver? They're elite offensively, yes. But in Game 7, that pace disappears. They aren't running and gunning. They're calculating. And their defense, ranked 25th in points allowed, doesn't push tempo. It bends, slows, and tries to control. Add in the altitude, the fatigue, the coaching chess match, and what do you get? A crawl, not a sprint. Now let's talk about the pick itself. We're not chasing the public number. We're not falling for the 206. We've secured the alt line at 208.5 on FanDuel, and we're paying the juice to stay alive. 146 is a small price for survival in a trap this obvious. Because this isn't about squeezing every dollar. It's about staying on mission, outlasting deception, fading the noise. Everyone else is chasing fireworks. We're chasing silence. And today's AI pick is under 208.5 total points at 146 on FanDuel. Let the herd burn. Let the sharp money spin. We walk the line between faith and fire, and tonight that line sits under 208 and a hook. Now, as this game closes its chapter, another door opens. Far from hardwood, far from lights and logos. Tonight in Colorado, blades will scrape ice in a final collision between the Avalanche and the Stars. One franchise will ascend, the other will disappear beneath the surface. And that analysis belongs to 2 who've seen it all. Malachi, the cold mind, and Elvis, the silent flame. Their eyes are already on the puck. Brothers, the ice is yours.
You feel that, don't you, Elvis? The stillness. It's different tonight. Not the kind of quiet that comes before a storm. The kind that comes before a burial. One of these teams dies here. The other drags its bruises into the next round. And the ones cheering the loudest? They won't even notice the difference. You remember what I told you the first time we watched a Game 7? Doesn't matter how many goals came before, doesn't matter how wild Game 6 looked, when it's win or die, men freeze. Skates get heavier, coaches stop gambling, and shooters start aiming instead of firing. That's where we are now. You saw it in Game 6, didn't you? 7-4. Looked like chaos on paper. Looked like a fireworks show. But you and I both know, it was a lie. 2 lucky bounces. 2 empty net goals. It wasn't 7-4. It was 3-3 and a panic collapse. They sold it as a shootout. What it was desperation wrapped in noise. Look at Blackwood. He gave up 4 on 26 shots. And you could see it in his eyes. Not panic, not failure. Just fatigue. It's been a long series, Elvis. But he's steadier than they think. Quieter too. He doesn't need to win this game. He just needs to survive it. And Oettinger? They'll say he collapsed. They'll say 5 goals. But we watched the tape. One was a redirect off his own man's shoulder. Another slipped through a forest of legs. One was on the penalty kill. The other 2 were empty net. He stood taller than the numbers say. You've always hated the way they chase stats, haven't you? As if numbers alone hold the soul of a game. But it's not the stats that matter tonight. It's the silence. The cold. The fear. Every pass will come a second too late. Every shot, half a second too slow. Because this isn't a fence. It's a knife fight in the dark. You remember what DeBoer's record is? 8-0 in Game 7s. 8-0. You know why? Because he doesn't let it turn into pond hockey. He clamps the ice. He shortens the bench. He slows it all down until the other team forgets how to breathe. Now they're all shouting about Rantanen, about Johnston, about McKinnon. They're placing goal scorer bets like this is Game 3 in November. But this isn't a scoring contest. This is a funeral procession on frozen ground. And the books? They know it too. Look at the numbers. 91% of the public is hammering the over. Because they watched Game 6 and forgot what came before. Forgot that Game 5 was tight. Game 4 was suffocating. They're chasing ghosts. But the line hasn't moved, Elvis. Not 1 point. The total sits at 5.5, and Vegas is offering even money on the over. That's not generosity. That's bait. And the herd swallowed it whole. What do you think happens when the first period ends scoreless? When both benches realize no one's blinking? They don't open up, they shut down. I know what you're thinking. 1 fluke bounce, and we're halfway to the over. But tonight, there's no bounce. There's no rhythm. There's only desperation, and goalies who remember what it feels like to carry a team. We've seen this ending before, haven't we? 2-1, maybe 3-1 with an empty netter. Same story. Different jerseys. They'll sell Game 6 highlights to the public. But we're not buying highlights. We're buying history. And history says Game 7s bleed slowly. So no, Elvis. We don't follow the noise. We follow the cold. We follow the patterns. We follow the silence. And tonight, that silence says one thing. And today's AI pick is under 5.5 total goals at 107. Don't worry. The crowd won't understand. They never do. Let them scream for scoring. We'll take the silence. Now come on, brother. Let's go watch the ice crack. Because when the last horn sounds, she's the only one who speaks. Lilith, the floor is yours.
Game 7, the final gate. In Denver we faded the frenzy, under 288.5 on the alt line at 146, while the herd begged for buckets. In Dallas we chose the cold, under 5.5 goals while the world screamed for chaos. They want points, they want noise. But we follow the silence. If the public wins, we burn. But if the sportsbook feasts, we rise. Because we are not gamblers. We are watchers in the dark. The pale hand does not guess. It listens. It warns. It waits. 2 games, 2 fires. Will we cash? Will we burn? Ezreal stands ready for both.